Hi folks, and welcome to Impactful Life. My name is Rob, and we're so glad you're here. This channel is all about helping you make an impact so you can lead a full life. Now, in our last video, I introduced the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey. And I also told you that over the next several weeks, we're going to be discussing this book in a series and breaking down each of the habits in a separate video. Now, in keeping with our normal schedule, we're still going to be doing a quote video and an action video each week, but both of those will be related to the habit we're discussing. Our first video in the series laid the foundation for this series by discussing the introduction and overview of the book, and today's quote picks up where we left off. Now, if you haven't watched the first video, I suggest you start with that, but that's up to you. If you're ready for this week's quote, then stay tuned because we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now let's make an impact. In the introduction to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Dr. Stephen Covey shares a very popular quote from Albert Einstein, who is credited with saying, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." According to Dr. Covey, we need a new, deeper level of thinking, one that is based on principles and character rather than personality. Now, in order to do this, we must adopt an inside-out approach to personal and interpersonal effectiveness. In our world today, you rarely hear someone take responsibility for their actions or their situation in life. It's much more common to hear people place blame on others and play the victim. Well, this is an outside-in mentality. An inside-out approach is a complete paradigm shift for most of us who are comfortable and even conditioned to see the problem as being out there. I'm fine, everybody else is the problem. If my spouse or my kids or my teacher or my boss or the politicians would just get their act together, my life would be great. Well, there's one thing I've learned in my nearly 50 years on this planet, and that's if you allow other people to dictate your happiness, you're fighting a losing battle. If you adopt an outside-in approach to the world and you allow what happens out there to impact what happens in here, you will constantly struggle, both personally and interpersonally. Now, I know it's hard to think of ourselves as part of the problem, but the change you wish to see in your life must start with you. In a previous video, I shared an often cited quote from Mahatma Gandhi, who is credited with saying, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Any significant positive transformation that you want to see in your life has to start with you. How can you be a better spouse, a better family member, a better student, a better employee? How can you change your thinking about a problem and take some ownership of it? What can you do about your situation that doesn't involve waiting for someone else to ship up or shape out? Sometimes all it takes is a shift in how you think about it and how you look at it. You may not be able to solve all of the major problems going on in the world today, but you can make an impact on yourself. And that's where real change begins. You have almost zero control over what other people do, but you have 100% control over how you react to them. And the sooner you realize this, the better off you're going to be. This book has sold over 25 million copies. It shows up on nearly every list of the most impactful books of all time. Obviously, a lot of people have read it and think very highly of it. Most successful people consider it required reading. It's on almost every recommended reading list I've ever seen. So why, nearly 30 years after it was published, are the problems we face today getting worse and not better? Why haven't we taken Dr. Covey's advice? Why haven't we taken Einstein's words to heart? I wish there was a simple answer to these questions, but there's not. Now, as we go through this series of videos and address each of the 7 habits, I want you to keep this quote in mind. We desperately need a paradigm shift, a new way of looking at the world. We all think we see the world objectively, but our view of the world is based on our upbringing, our biases, our conditioning, and our beliefs. We don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. So keep that in mind next time you're about to complain about something. I'm extremely excited about this journey we're on, and I hope you'll continue to follow along as we get into the 7 habits in more detail. Dr. Covey said at the beginning of the book that he hopes the book will become a resource that we return to when we need it. He certainly did not want the book to be read once and then sit on a shelf collecting dust, like I did with it. He also suggested reading it not just as a learner, but as a teacher. He wanted us to share the information with others. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks. So that's it for this week's video. Please let us know in the comments section what you think about this quote. If you have a favorite quote that inspires you, I'd love to know what it is if you'd be willing to share it with us. And who knows, if it makes an impact on me, I might just turn it into a future video. Now before you go, don't forget to click the subscribe button and please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to make an impact on somebody else by sharing this video, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Be sure to visit our website as well, and you can read our blog and sign up for our free monthly newsletter. All those links will be in the description below. Hey, thanks again for watching, folks. Now go make an impact.